Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another very powerful presentation. We got a great show lined up for you. And before we introduce everybody that's going to be a part of this, let me remind you of a couple of things. First, if you have any questions or any comments, please enter them into the chat, and we will try to get to them during the course of this, what will be a very, very fast 30 minutes. The other thing that I have to remind everybody is there's an opportunity for you to get some CPE credit. I'm just learning these things now, so kind of excited to share this with you. All you have to do is sign up for Vaco and Morgan Franklin virtual CPE, Emerging Trends 2022, how leaders are driving transformation, which we're going to talk a little bit about that today. The webinar will take place February 2nd at 11 a.m. Central. I'll remind you once again, but make sure that you are a part of that, and we're going to drop a link in the comment section for all of you to be able to sign up and get some of this CPE credit, which I know is very valuable and will help you go where you want to go. Now, let me talk to you about what we've got going on today, because we've got a great show. Brian Waller, who many of you know as the CEO and the founder of Vaco, is joining us, along with Chris Mann, who is the CEO and managing partner with Morgan Franklin, and Tracy Power makes it back again. We are nothing without the power. And Tracy joins us. She is the Chief People Officer with Vaco. So first of all, the three of you, welcome. Happy New Year. Thank you for making time to join us. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and we're looking forward to a very, very insightful conversation, as it seems like Chris has taken a little bit of a break. Maybe the pressure too much, and he had to bail, which is, look, I understand it. I understand it. So Brian, I'll start this off with you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. I give you a brief chance to just let people get an idea of who Brian Waller is and how you got to this very important position of joining us here on our Talking Transformation conversation.
Thanks, Michael. Happy to be here, and glad to see that Chris is back. So I'm here with a few LinkedIn Live experts here on the phone, and this is my inaugural event. So I'm happy to be here. But I am, as you mentioned, the Chief Executive Officer here at Vaco, one of the original co-founders, which means I've been doing this for what is our 20th anniversary year here in 2022. And I'm excited to talk through some important, really important topics around transformation and change, and excited about some new material and new opportunities we're going to have to talk about it over the coming months.
Well, welcome, and thanks for making the time. And Tracy, we're very familiar with you and thrilled that you're back again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's great to be back with you as well as the Chief People Officer at Vaco. A lot of the transformation that we're going through involves our people and how we help lead them through it. So excited about the topic today.
And leadership is an important thing, Chris. You're well aware of the importance of leadership and the responsibilities that occur within that as a managing partner and CEO of Morgan Franklin.
Yeah, Michael, great to see you again. Happy New Year. One of the things that we'll talk about is during the last couple of years, during this pandemic, and how we've had to pivot and transform our businesses and work in a remote scenario. Well, I just had a real life scenario there where I lost audio when we came in, so I had to get out and get back in, and fortunately it worked. But I'm super excited to be here today. As you know, Morgan Franklin became part of the Vaco family back in 2019, and it's been an amazing ride that truly is just getting started in a very powerful partnership in the marketplace. And transformation is something that we do every day in support of our clients. And we certainly have transformed Vaco and Morgan Franklin over that period of time too. So lots of things to talk about, and lots of great trends that we've seen and heard from the marketplace.
And welcome all three of you, and thank you once again. Brian, I'm going to start with you. We all know that transformation occurs all the time. Leadership plays a really important role in that transformation, and in your responsibilities with Vaco. Just share with us, if you will, some of these key ingredients to having successful transformation despite all of these challenges that are taking place, including what's going on with this COVID pandemic that just keeps seeming to linger around.
Hopefully we're going to get back to some new sense of normal soon. But it certainly has been challenging. And, we help our clients every day with transformation and change. But at the same time, we see a bunch of it internally here at Vaco. And so, when I'm thinking through transformational change as an organization, the first thing that really comes to my mind is, how do we define the different audiences and the different people within our organization that it's going to affect? And the reality is, it can affect a lot of different people depending on their position and depending on how they look at change in different ways. And so starting with the most important component, which is our people, and how it's going to impact them, in my mind, is most important. As a direct follow-on to that, I think you have to start thinking about your communication plan around it. And there's really no such thing as over communicating when you're talking about transformational change in an organization. And so to address it openly and honestly and give it really clearly define what we're trying to do as an organization and how it might impact people, I think is critical. And then lastly, Michael, from my perspective, if our organization is depending on me to drive transformational change on my own, then it's going to be a long road for Vaco. So we have a ton of talented people on our team. And, I think that putting together the right team of people to address specific challenges related to change, making sure you have people that are passionate about it, that have the right talent and abilities to help us drive through that, and to think about all the impacts throughout the organization is critical.
All right, that leads me right to you, Tracy, because this is one of the things that I know that in my roles, as I have tried to make changes and transform my businesses, fear is a big part of this. And a lot of people are risk averse. A lot of people are fearful of transformations that they're in the middle of taking place. How are we going to be able to overcome this? You deal with this on a daily basis. Just walk us through some of those challenges and how you jump those hurdles.
Yeah, Michael, I think you're absolutely right. I think the word change has got this real negative connotation around it, right? But there's an author that's written a fabulous book about managing transformations that talks about change being situational, but transformation being emotional, right? It's a very emotional thing to let go. And so how we help our employees understand the WIFM, right? What's in it for them, and how is it going to make, their lives better, their work experience better, enhancing their everyday, the everyday experience here at work. And I think it really goes to what Waller said about making sure that you've thought about all the constituencies, everyone that it could impact, and getting their voice in it. I think as soon as people understand what the plan is and they've got a voice in the plan, they're much more accepting of working through the process, because change is a process. And, getting people involved in that process early on, I think is key to having a successful transformation.
And Chris, I would also assume that as we start thinking about transformation and change, the fear that can go along with it, not just from internally, but externally within a company like Morgan Franklin, making sure that your clients feel comfortable with what is taking place and how you're going to, again, solve the riddle of whatever it is, COVID, fill in the blank.
For sure. And, in the early days of this pandemic, one of the things that we had the opportunity to do was meet with a number of leaders of businesses, both our clients and those that we know in the marketplace. And one of the things we heard on a consistent basis was that what was really important for companies that were trying to figure out how they were going to navigate this whole thing was to be innovative. And you either would innovate and survive and thrive, or if you didn't change the way you were doing things as a business, you had a higher risk of failure. And so I think that the pandemic itself really accelerated what was otherwise already happening around sort of a digital transformation and companies wanting to do more with data and information and be able to have information to make the decisions that they needed to do to innovate their businesses. So I think that this this pandemic, in a lot of ways, other than the health aspects and all the hardships that people have had, has been really good in accelerating and making people think hard about the importance of transformation and what they need to do to transform their businesses. Brilliantly said. All right, I'm going to jump here because you bring up the data, and one of the cool things that you all have done is the Trends in Transformation report, where you solicited information from, I think it was 160 individuals in North America, and asking all these very insightful questions and getting really key answers. And there were some, I think it's safe to say that it may be surprising even from what you got from the report. And so, Brian, I'll go back to this. 46% of people said engaged leadership is the most critical factor to a successful transformation. How do you, as a leader, sort of approach transformational initiatives and stay engaged in this process?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think most importantly, as a leader, you really have to have the mindset that if you don't change, then you're going to fall behind. And so I think setting that tone across your organization is important. And then also giving people a voice to bring up areas of opportunity where we need to change. That some of the best, most of the best material transformational changes that we've made as an organization through the years has been the idea of someone on our team, not mine, not Tracy's, not Chris's, but someone that's on the front lines, or someone that's out there with their finger on the pulse of how our industry and how our clients need us to change. And so really listening from a leadership perspective is most important, I think, to really just to stay engaged in how we need to change as an organization. And then once we determine as a leadership team that change is necessary, then I really go back to some of the things I said originally, Michael, is you have to communicate. You have to really engage and understand the different contingencies and how it's going to impact them, both internally here at Vaco and MorganFranklin, as well as externally with our clients and our candidates and our consultants. And then you have to assemble the right team that's passionate about it, about the specific change, and has the right skills to actually deliver on a result.
It's interesting because you say this about assembling the right team, but there also has to be, I would imagine, some real training that's a part of that, right? I mean, hiring is one thing, training is another thing, and getting the talented individuals within Vaco or MorganFranklin to kind of assist the client base in understanding these transformational changes is almost as valuable, if not more so. Yes.
Yeah, I certainly feel that's the case. Chris, you would love your perspective on that. But I mean, MorganFranklin specifically, when you think about helping our clients through transformational changes, that's at its highest level what they do every day. There's really never a project that we're executing as MorganFranklin where there are all kinds of different IT and accounting initiatives, but all of them are rooted in the fact that our clients need to go through a transformational change. So Chris has an unbelievable managing director team that works with the change management component of that with their clients every day. Chris, you have some thoughts around that?
For sure. And I want to go back quickly to the point of having engaged leadership also. I'll get to the change management aspect, but I think one of the things that we see is really important with our clients is the leadership needs to be able to consistently articulate to the people of a company the vision, right? And where the company is headed directionally and strategically. And what I've learned over the years as a leader is that the people of your company and the people of your organization want to be attached to something great and want to be attached to something that's going to make their lives better and the lives of the people they serve better. So being connected to the vision of where these transformations are headed is really, really important. And then you drill down into the fastest way for a transformation not to go well is to have people that are not bought in to that vision, and people that are not bought in to doing the extra things necessary to embrace the change that's going to come with that transformation. So Michael, back to your original point, training and building awareness around what's going to be new to a lot of people and need to be embraced. Training people is one of the most important things to ensuring a good and effective change management, project management along the way.
Fantastic. And questions are rolling in, which I'm going to get to in a second. But Tracy, I want to chuck this back to you. And Chris, you brought this engaged conversation. So I'll throw this to Tracy. What does it mean for leaders or leadership to be engaged in transformation?
Michael, that's a great question. I think for me, engaged in transformation leadership looks like leadership that's willing to dream big about what the possibilities can be and what does the future look like for your employees, and then saying, how can we make that happen? And letting people have the time and the autonomy to dream big, right? And make sure that they're thinking about the business. And so then it's supporting that effort, and not necessarily from the front. A lot of the times we can just be just a team member, right? And letting other people lead that have got the expertise, that have got the desire and the will. And I think that's how you really attract great talent to an organization too, because you're giving people a lot of opportunity to grow in their career. So I think engaged leadership is a number of things. It's being willing to make change, right? To know that the company to change equals growth in a number of organizations. And so making sure that you've got those opportunities to invite people to the change.
And I would also add, and I'm asking, it seems ownership is a really important part of all this on behalf of, the staff or the team has to really own up, hey, this is where we're going. And then it seems like you'll get the best out of the team, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And, ownership is, from the leadership sponsor, maybe, or all the way through the team, whatever role that you're playing. But yeah, there's got to be buy-in to the vision, and then buy-in to the change. And then it's continually communicating what that's going to mean. So
Chris,
absolutely, lots of ownership around change.
Chris, I want to go back to something that I touched on in the beginning, which was 46% of the people said engaged leadership is critical factor to successful transformation. Did that percentage catch you off guard at all? Did you kind of feel like that probably would have been in that space? We scared them off again. So now I'm going to turn this over. Ryan, this now ends up in your lap because I need the answer to this question. So that thing that says CEO on it, that means it's your turn. Did 46%, did that surprise you at all? Now I got.
Now you're stuck with me, Michael.
No. We got.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
I'm on mute, and you have to
live television. By the way, isn't live television so much fun?
So now you have some choices, Michael. So Chris, I don't know if you heard the question or not. So I'm happy to take it. Or
no, please. I'm curious to get your thoughts. And Chris, the question I asked you and Brian really was: did this number 46%, was that a surprising number to you at all? Ryan was gonna DH for you there, but now that you're back, I think you can jump in there and answer that. I do want to hear from you though, Brian. So don't go muzzle on me here.
Michael, I caught the last part of that. So was I surprised by the level of percentage of importance of engaged leadership?
At 46%, yeah, that was the number of engaged leadership. Did that number seem like that was, on par with what you thought? Did you think it'd be higher or maybe lower?
I think you have to look at it relative to the other factors, right? The change management, the project management, the importance of the technology enhancements and things. But all in all, it probably felt a little bit low to me, because I think at the end of the day, again, getting back to the point I mentioned earlier, having a leadership team that's bought into what you're trying to accomplish and able to articulate that vision, and then having your employee base buy into that vision, that seems almost like table stakes to make something happen, right? And so I would have thought that because the leadership team's not bought into it, you're destined to fail in that regard. So I would have thought it would have been a little bit higher, but certainly there are so many other factors that drive a good transformation. One of the things that I love a good sports analogy, and I heard a basketball coach talking the other day about how he coaches his team up on when they either fall behind in a game or when they get ahead in a game, and don't play the score, play the game and play the game and let it play itself out. Because if you think you're way out in front and then you can coast to finishing the game, you're destined to probably fall off. Or if you get too worried about being too far behind and you try to play catch up, then you get off your game plan. So the analogy there to me is with projects, you've got to really focus on what are you trying to achieve? What's the long-term outcome? And sometimes progress might not be exactly where you want it to be, or you might get ahead from a progress standpoint, but you have to stick to the plan. And that takes leadership to be able to make sure you're able to stick to the plan and not get sidetracked if you go too far off plan, either to the good or to the bad.
Yeah, I would. So, Chris, you said something that came to my mind, which is table stakes on this one, right? I don't know if engaged leadership is the most critical factor to a successful transformation project, but it's a have to have on the front end. Yeah. If you don't have a leadership team that is open to or even passionate about change within an organization, then you're going to have a lot of transformational projects never get out of the starting gate. Once you have that, and then there's so many other critical factors that will ultimately determine the success of a specific project that's driving transformational change.
Okay, we've got tons of questions coming in here, and though we don't have a lot of time left, I want to try to get to this. This will be for all of you, if you could. Here's the question. This is from Christopher Jones. With the low unemployment rates, yet staffing shortages across industries, my gut says this is an incredible growth opportunity and leverage for our industry. How, from the leadership perspective at staffing and a consulting firm, does this present any long-term concern, or is it really a dream scenario for Vaco and Morgan Franklin?
I'll start. I think that that it's a real opportunity. I think we need to figure on the delivery side as far as going out and securing the best talent in the marketplace that we can continue to deliver for our clients. That's going to have to be an intense focus to ensure that we're doing that. But certainly this is, in my mind, and Chris and Tracy would love your opinion on this, but in my mind, we're not sitting in some post-COVID run-up with a bunch of pent-up demand from our clients. There's so many things that are driving the opportunities and the needs from our clients in the marketplace right now. You have a lot of highly skilled professionals that are turning away from permanent employment because they're really looking at more flexibility in their schedule and this opportunity to use the remote opportunities in the marketplace to tackle projects and be on project teams from a place where they want to be and take some time off in between engagements. That is a trend that will continue. It means that our clients are going to be able to have a harder time finding talent on a permanent basis to help drive these projects internally. And there's, I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I've been in this industry for 20 years. There has never been a point in time in the areas of our focus, that being accounting and IT, where there was more talent in the marketplace than opportunities to perform critical work for our clients. This is extremely intense right now. And certainly there's some trends that I feel like will continue to make it difficult. But fortunately, we also have some things working in our favor because clients are now used to working with project teams that are primarily remote. We can share our resources across our entire geographic footprint to deliver on to deliver for our clients with project teams that are located remotely across our entire geography.
Interesting.
Tracy, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I totally concur with you. If this is a very unique opportunity and a unique time. None of us has ever lived through a global pandemic before, so I think we've learned a lot about ourselves and about the workplace from a people perspective and what people really want. And I think yes, the hybrid work life or a very flexible work life is definitely something that's attracting. Is attractive for talent, as well as the type of work. So this transformational work that many organizations are going through really attracts people that like to drive innovation and change. And so I think it's a very unique time for us for sure. And there's a lot of great opportunities out there to use some talent. So, Chris?
Yeah, the thing I would add, thanks Brian and Tracy for that commentary. I think that what we have learned during the last 2 years is that this creates an environment where you really need to focus on the employee base. The employee base is the most important, most critical thing to driving the growth of a business like ours. And to create an opportunity for that employee base to grow professionally in their own careers and help be part of something that is great in terms of making a huge impact to our clients and to the market. We've really been able to, and this gets into the transformation that we've been undertaking over the last couple of years. It has created a whole new world of opportunity for us to be able to serve a client base from anywhere and deliver amazing value based on all the pivots that we've made, the great teams that we have behind us supporting the technology side and the professional training side and all that kind of stuff. It's really created an unprecedented opportunity. And it's on us to continue as leaders to set the tone, but also as an overall team to outpace the competitors that we have in the marketplace. And I feel really good about where we are with that.
And as we believe it or not, come to a close here, because I can't believe how fast this has gone. I just want to get all three of you quickly sharing an answer to this. And Chris brought this up, the ability to pivot. There was a question that was asked, how important has transformation been to your success? And I know for me individually, we sort of live by this in the golf instruction space. If you're still teaching what you taught 10 years ago, you're probably left behind. I think the world is changing and it changes quickly, and your ability to adapt to that change is vital. But Brian, I'll start with you again. As we look at these transformations and these trends in transformation that have taken place and that have been sort of unearthed, if you will, in this report, it's fascinating to see, but also at the same time, something that we should embrace. My guess is that you have figured out how to pivot as well as anybody in order for you to be able to have not just the success that you have day to day, but year to year. And if you don't figure out how to pivot, it's going to be you're going to be like a New York Giants football coach. You're going to have 2 years of success and then you're going to be
out. I think you said it well. And as a parallel, your analogy of, if you're trying to coach golf in the same way today as you were 10 years ago, you probably, your clientele's probably dwindling. If you look at, when we started this business in 2002, we were providing talent solutions and consulting services in the areas of accounting and IT. If you define at the highest level what we're doing today, we're doing the same thing. If you peel back the layers on how we're doing it specifically and the service offerings that we're providing to our clients, we have pivoted enormously through the years. And the addition of MorganFranklin has certainly helped us do that. but we will always be in the talent solutions business, specifically in accounting and IT. And in the same sense, we will always be changing, and we have to be able to embrace what's driving needs from our clients that are ever evolving. So I think you said it well, and we have to be open to continuing to challenge ourselves to ensure that our portfolio of services and the way in which we're impacting our clients evolves with them.
Tracy?
And similarly, I mean, with our employees, we have to change the way we work with our employees too, right? Everyone went home. We're going on 2 years now, though it feels like 10. And some people haven't come back to the office yet. How do we still and continue to engage and give those employees the same experience or a better experience in the workplace? So we've got to continue to evolve how we work with and how we connect with and how we care for our people.
Chris?
And I'll round it out. I think those are really great points. I think the other thing that we need to continue to do is to evolve in the breadth of things that we deliver value for our clients and the ways that we deliver that value. I think that's, we have to stay in front of the market there and stay cutting edge with what our client base needs. And in order to do that, we've got to continue to innovate and continue to transform the way we look at the market. And I'm excited about just the prospect of being able to do that in a remote environment like this, where we've been really intentional about leaning in and engaging with one another and providing the platform, if you will, for our people to come up with that innovation, all to the benefit of our client base.
Fantastic. I can't believe how fast 30 minutes has gone. I can't thank you all enough for the wisdom and the insight. And I know everybody who's been on this, the questions and the comments have just been never stopping. So thank you all for your participation. And by the way, a quick reminder here, if you want more insight and CPE credit, which I know we're all dying to get more CPE credit, sign up for Morgan Franklin and Vaco's virtual CPE Emerging Trends 2022, how leaders are driving transformation. The webinar will take place February 2nd at 11 a.m. Central. And I think we have put some information into the chat so that if you all are interested in signing up, please do. Once again, for all of us, thank you so much for joining us. All the best, everybody. And again, we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you.
Everybody.
Michael, thanks, buddy. Good to see you.